So welcome everybody here to our drafting stage. Let's get rid of that one. It is our drafting stage, and we will be having TongFu over on the Dire side for this first matchup. And, well, they are going to be playing up with the Clockwork of the Rubik to be kicking off our drafting stage here. Crystal Maiden and Miranda to come out from Team StarTale, and the first two bands coming out from TongFu. Surprisingly taking out both the Alchemist as well as the Elder Titan in the early stages. I know Alchemist is really starting to become a lot more popular as a supporting hero, even though I'm still not a massive fan of it. I know EGM was successful with it last night, and a couple of the Chinese teams are also tossing it around. But the Alchemist is being removed, Naga Siren as well, Pugner and Lich. Now, StarTale's draft looks very, very, very standard. Now, that's something I'm almost happy about. Going with the CM and the Mirana, even better. You can run one as a core, you can run one as a support, or you can do both as supports. The options are quite open for their lineup. So, StarTale, I'm already impressed, which is, yeah. It's really sad, I know that I'm impressed by that for Korean Dota, but still, Korean Dota is still in the stages of development. They're still going to find their own little groove to all of this, but right now, with the Rubik as well as the Clockwork, I almost feel like TongFu is throwing us a bit of a curveball with this one. Very few teams these days will pick up the Rubik this early on. It's one of these heroes which doesn't really get banned out. Even then, like, it would have been TongFu who would consider banning it out because Rubik is a great hero up against the Clockwork. So normally, you don't see that kind of block pick it up, and now we will see the fact that Team StarTale expose their lanes. It'll be the Visage coming up here as a third pickup by StarTale. So, with the Visage, Miranda and Crystal Maiden, we have Miranda into the core, potential for aggressive tri-lane, still have to see what lanes are going to be coming their way. As Team StarTale, they can run dual lanes as well, so they can go a 2-2-1 strat or a 2-1-2 strat, depending on what lanes they end up in. Venomancer and Naga being removed out by TongFu, so they went to ban out the supports, but StarTale were quite happy with the support they managed to get. And then Invoker and Chen to be banned out here by Tembezi. But we're going to go with the safe farm here coming out as the Weaver for TongFu. So we get a Clockwork off lane, we get a Rubik into the support, pulling and just generally making space for that top lane carry, which will be the Weaver. DK comes up here from StarTale. Still can add a question mark to what lanes we'll have. DK, if we go with the percentage chances, it's going to be a mid-solo DK. A lot of strength behind it, and a very difficult hero to try and lane up against. No matter what hero you're really playing, controlling a DK is very, very difficult. Harassment on a DK is also very difficult. I'm not just mentioning his Dragon's Blood, but the fact that once you're able to get the bottle charges up and running, and you start bottle ferrying your with the courier, then DK's got mana regen, so he can farm with the Breathe Fire burst damage. Then you've got your basic regeneration coming from the Dragon's Blood, and including the health regeneration coming out from the bottle. So you put all that together, then you're looking pretty good. You're looking pretty good as a mid-solo. And what are you going to do up against that? Even if you run like something like an OD, the Imprisoment's not enough to control up the DK unless you have like maximum levels up in the Imprisonment. So you're stealing as much intel as possible. And then he won't be able to do a Breathe Fire. But unless you've got that, you don't control him. And by that point, DK should have his ultimate, which doesn't really cost that much mana. Triggers it out and starts pushing down towers. Earthshaker will be the third pickup now here from TongFu. So we get our secondary support hero, a Rubik and an ES to combine together with a Weaver and a Clockwork also on the field. I'm interested to see if this is just because TongFu's really worried about the potential of that of the DPS coming out from an aggressive tri-lane. As said, being the last man out, so Tembezi, we can all hate you for that one. And the Timbersaw being removed out by TongFu. Great off-lane player, great off-lane hero. Always a little bit curious to see just how well it's capable of being used, because like we saw it with ISIS on weekend just past, and like he was really strong, he was difficult to gank up, but later in the game really just lost his bite. It just wasn't there. And that's what happens if you don't get the momentum with a hero such as Timbersaw. With the lineup that StarTale have, they don't even need themselves a momentum-based hero. They've got enough momentum to push down the towers, keep that harassment up. Those familiar birds are always possibly the most annoying thing in the world to try and compete up against. And then you add the Mirana, a long-range arrow initiation, Crystal Maiden as well, DK with the Dragon Tail set up. So if you get a Shadow Blade up in that DK early on, and you get an initiation, now we're going to add a bounty into the mix-up too. I was about to say so they can control the Weaver before he's able to go into Shikuchi or time-lapse. If you had a bounty under towards the mix, you're giving yourself invis tracking ability, obviously, as well as having the burst damage from the Shuritos and the damage he does from his Janata. So the two of these guys can combine to get the DK as well as the Bounty Hunter. They can really stick it to the Weaver. Earthshaker and Rubik can have a pretty rough time with this as well. So TongFu, they require one more hero, and it's going to be a Juggernaut as their last one. So they're going very, very heavy on the farm requirements here. But it does allow them, if they want to run an aggressive tri-lane if they want to do it with the Weaver, but this could just be dual lanes too. An Earthshaker and a Juggernaut in the offlane, a Rubik and Juggernaut, probably going to be a better combination, considering you would like to have at least one ranged person. But this is YaphetS taking up the role as the Juggernaut. So,
prepare for battle.
Sorry, as I'm just spamming up, someone just hit the add button. I don't know who it is. And I'm hoping that's going to stop right there. Wonderful. It looks like it did. Top lane movement. We've got a 5-man smoke up here by StarTale. So they're already going to look to see if they can murder somebody up here on the top lane. And TongFu's going to make their way over too. So this might be a really, really nice way to start this off. Already, YaphetS, well, you might have to spin this one up. He goes right in the middle. The two support heroes doing a lot of damage. But Rubik, he needs to make sure there's a little bit more space here. So much damage. YaphetS able to survive that. 3-man stun coming down from the telekinesis battery assault from Clockwork. Taking a lot of damage. Another Fisher from Long DD. Maybe it's the space they need. Sentry wards it down too. So they saw the bounty and are moving out of here. The Weaver right on the edge of StarTale. They're all just so low. Shikuchi again. It might be able to pick up 2 or 3 from this one. Shikuchi through. There's your first one already coming out for the Weaver. Dragon Tail stun. Fisher again. 2 so low on life. He'll go for a spin. YaphetS diving into the tier 1 tower. Now going over towards the Mirana. It's now a double kill for the Weaver. And TongFu haven't lost a single one. They can't see the Bounty Hunter. He's stuck in Viz and is able to escape himself away. And they're away to safety. They are away to safety. And what a start to the matchup. The bottle is now already coming in for this Weaver. This Weaver who is running a solo mid-Weaver as well. So coming in with the early Wraith Band, had salves, had shared tangos, thinking you might have a little bit more of a harder time in life. Nope. Look at that gold per minute. Over 1,000 already. There's your gold per minute at the very, very start. 1.1k gold per minute coming in for the Weaver. Now, that's the way you always want to start matches like this. DK sitting on the other side of this, and, well, 0 for 1. At least he's coming in for a couple of denies in this middle lane. But Weaver, with the early levels as well, with a generated attack, he can zone MP out here. Which is exactly what he does. The downside for the DK. While his burst damage is great, while his Dragon Blood isn't too bad, look at what he built into. This is the kill. This is the kill right here. He should Shikuchi through this one, go up the tree line. Needs one more attack with a Gemnate. He's alright. He's munching on the salve. DK will be able to survive this one. But this Weaver, is he gonna? Yeah. Oh, no. In. You got the Shikuchi damage. That's a kill. Gemnate attack. Follow-up attack. Mikasa moving wonderfully across this middle lane. And now building into, what is that, Ring of Aquila? Yeah, so he's going to do a Ring of Aquila for the mid. Long DD's keeping the pull going over on the side. Both Rubik and Long DD sitting up at level 2.5. YaphetS around the same. And this aggressive tri-lane, it had such potential. It had such potential to just murder everything. And now, oh, they've still got potential for it, but the problem is when this kind of stuff happens. Crystal Maiden, the fissure flies out, the arrow will go as well, but YaphetS tanks it up.
is under
Arrow has
attack.
no effect on magic immune targets, which is what the Juggernaut is when he's spinning like that. So TongFu are already going 5-0. This bottom lane Clockwork, Bounty Hunter does not want to come in close on this one. Second he does, Clockwork could just pop off the cogs, burn off the life points as well as the mana. And that mana is so sacred for the Bounty Hunter. If he comes in too close, he gets caught inside the cogs, and then the Battery Assault will start to pick him off. There is, however, no sentries or dust on this long lane coming out from TongFu, so it's not as effective, but if they bring down a sentry, if someone actually even upgraded the courier, then you're looking good. And the courier upgrade is meant to come in like 5 seconds. That's the reason why it hasn't happened. It gets timed out. It has to wait. Now it can be upgraded as it takes the boots towards the top. There she goes. Look at him start flying. TI2 courier with particle effects included. Long DD and Kabu waiting around the sides. Gandhi. He's going to try and start his pull, but this is all being watched. Like, you got an observer ward, which is nicely down by StarTale, so they know what's coming from the side, but TongFu with a ward inside the lane as well. So even trying to do this pull, every part of it is being watched right now by TongFu. Long D preps himself for just a quick fissure. A singular stun is not going to be enough for them, especially when it's Mirana on the front lines. Are we going to go in again? Weaver bugs on the DK. Takes a little bit longer to get rid of those little suckers, but Weaver, I think, is just having himself a little bit of fun. Try and zone him out, so when it comes to the 4-minute mark, he can run for the rune. In fact, look at DK already trying to make his way for it. And the rune's going to spawn on bottom. And DK can't win the foot race. Shikuchi's movement speed is more than enough, so he runs straight through him, and he's going to find a regeneration room for the Weaver as well. Courier's bringing in Magic Stick. I don't think that was really essential. I got a funny feeling that was mainly just meant to take the bottle back. But, yeah, at the end of the day, I suppose it doesn't really matter that much. Up on the high ground, Weaver. There's your bugs again. He's got time-lapse. He can dive in this underneath this tower and still use his time-lapse because there's no stuns properly. Like a Dragon Tail stun, that's a level 1 Dragon Tail stun. Nakanja possibly could have even committed a little bit more to that and taken the kill. Under the Visage, you already basically, like, even if he decided to use Soul Assumption damage, the Dragon Tail stun wasn't long enough not to control up the Weaver. But I just suppose Weaver doesn't really care right now. At this point, it's almost double the CS of the DK, and top 3 CSs belong to TongFu. Their net worth, of course, the top 3 will belong to them as well. Unfortunately, the gold per minute for the Weaver has now come down to a relatively normal area. As opposed to having the over 1.1k gold per minute because of the extra kills at the start. Bottom lane gank's now coming out. Clockwork's in trouble. This should be his death right now if they can control him well. Koksu comes down, but Bounty Hunt's caught inside of it, and they don't have to get anywhere near him. The Soul Assumption damage, they did get burned up a hell of a lot, but that is going to be the first kill now in for StarTale. No track gold coming out from the Bounty Hunter. In fact, has to level it up right now. Because he hasn't leveled up that. Whoop. DK's Dragon Form being used, but still unable to survive the Weaver. He pops his stick charges, now buys himself up some treads. I'm wondering if this just becomes a full-on action-pack Weaver. No Lincoln Sphere for this Weaver. Let's just go BKB Desolator. He might consider going in towards a Mana Style earlier on, though. That's just to break the track. Long DD's moving up towards the top lane too. They're still watching that Mirana and they know that she's alone. Which means the CM as well as the Visage is gone on wander. Nighttime Vision, Long DD now shows himself. Fissure, he's going to wait the right time. The leap's already been used though, so the Fidget now gets to go. Weaver taking a lot of damage in here. Will time those to evade the arrow, which means Kabu has to cop it. And Long DD, he's committing. I don't think he really can commit to this. He's going to die underneath that tower. Completely over-committing underneath the tower. While Bounty on the bottom lane is dying, you'll see he got dust up, so Clockwork. There we go. There's your invis reveal. So get himself caught inside the cogs, which means you will die. Just the way it works if you got the invis reveal. So Clockwork getting a solo kill on the bottom. And the Weaver, of course, being involved on the top. We've already got 4-0 now up on him. And he's going to look for more. You got the double kill up on the top lane. He's taken out the DK twice in the mid as well. That top lane kill. And there's 2 for the Juggernaut already, 1 for the Clockwork. Then the two other kills go in the way of the Mirana, which was the overcommitting Earthshaker, as well as the bottom lane, which ended up going to the Bounty Hunter. YaphetS phase boots, poor man's shield. So, standard build. Standard build for a Juggernaut, especially one that's searching for the kills, as those phase boots will let you keep in range when you're going on that spin. They're going to have a play for this bottom. Clockwork's hookshot's coming off cooldown right now. He is going to get tracked up, but track doesn't really concern him if he's able to hookshot and keep up that way. Just leap yourself in. Kabu as well as YaphetS. You can see him looking for that small little opening on the top. They've lost their Observer Ward in the lane now. It has timed out, as we have cracked over the 8-minute mark, so most of the old wards are already gone. So the new ones had to be placed already. That track from Clockwork, now they're going to smoke themselves up. The defensive tri-laner Bounty, SD and CM. I mean SD. Visage, nice! Very, very nice latch in. Caught the Crystal Maiden out, the Fissure will take out the Visage. I say the Fissure, the damage from the DDing Weaver is what got the kill at the end of all of that. Oh, does he know? Does he know? Does he know? He doesn't know. But he's going to be ready for this. DK into Dragon form. Where's these bugs? Not going to be there, but still that DD. Crystal Maiden just evaporates. The Bounty is in here as well. Then the focus over from Mikasa. He is just destroying everything. Comes in deeper. Now Dragon Tail stunned up. He's still got time lapse available, which he will now use. There's also a Corey to even pick up, and he's still using the DD for it. Throws out the bugs. Moves over towards Gandhi. YaphetS is coming in. Ulti is available. One more attack. In fact, YaphetS just brings the blade down on him. YaphetS still with ultimate. He can turn and find on top of this DK. Instead, they've left the Weaver back behind the tower. He wants Shikuchi himself out of here. He's expecting them to be searching for him. And now the DK, well, stunned up quickly. Now the Dragon Tail over. Arrow, that's going to be a good timing stun too. That's going to be a big kill to take, and they got him. 1,049 gold. That was an 8-kill streak right there. And YaphetS just did not want to commit. Right now, though, he's still got his ultimate. Get in there, YaphetS, get in there. You got Mirana, and you've got a Bounty Hunter. Easy pickings, even if it is only level 1 ultimate, but level 1 ulti into spin. They end up losing the Weaver as well as the Rubik on this bottom lane. A very tentative attack there from TongFu. Weaver knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to just keep on moving in and killing. The movement coming out from him is just spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. Mikasa, you have yourself a new fan. I'm loving your level of aggression. I'm loving this mid-solo Weaver move out. Oh, is this really the reason? I'm hoping that's not the reason why YaphetS didn't go in. Protecting the Hand of Midas gold. Oh, I hate Hand of Midas. I really, really do. It's not even really required in this game. Like right now, even in the later portion of the game, like TongFu will still win out in the later portion of the game. They're running a Weaver who got an insane start. An absolutely insane start. And he is possibly... He's keeping his options open as far as what item he's going to go, but it's possible Manda, it's possible Lincoln Sphere. Both options are viable. Yeah. But even in the late game, it's not even required to have a Juggernaut as a huge heavy carry. He could have just gone into his drums or something along those lines. Instead, though, YaphetS wants to go for the money, which means he can if he keeps his momentum up. Looking into picking up that Aghanim Scepter straight away for him. Bounty Hunter will find YaphetS, but well, even with the Hand of Midas, he's got a chance of picking him off. With drums, he would have no chance whatsoever. The Bounty doesn't really have enough damage just yet. It's only 1 point up in the Janata. 4 points into the burst damage of the Shuri toss.
Radiant's top tower is
Mikasa bringing down that top tier 1 tower by himself. Well, StarTale, they're not quite sure how many people are meant to commit to these different lanes. Like that one TP that just went up, and that's Mirana who left the jungle. But the rest of StarTale have 4 players sitting in this middle lane, looking for any kind of advantage they can get. At the same time, no, Mirana, you can't stand up on this top lane. Weaver will just force anybody out of the base. Radiant's Couriers now come back to life again. Already just squirming himself out with the TP scroll. Clockwork, nice latch. Dust, dust, battery assault, bounty hunter's visible. Fissure as well is gonna be enough burst damage to pick him off.
There a bounty on me?
Especially when you combine it with a 4-level rocket. 4-level battery assault, 4-level rocket, and then just the power cogs. Didn't even need the maximum duration. 5 seconds is normally more than enough for the cogs.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
There goes top tower.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
So the tier 1 tower going the way of the Weaver.
Radiant's bottom
I'm still waiting to
tower
see
is
what he's
under
going to be
attack.
picking up, if it's going to be anything. Just interested to see what type of build he goes. Because this, if he goes into mana style, then he still has his fan. If he goes Lincoln Sphere, my fan is sort of like will start to sway. No, that's what we're seeing from YaphetS too. It is gonna be the Aghanim Scepter rush. It's just easy enough when you want to still find your DPS, but you want to have your Aghanim Scepter as well. It's a lot of money to invest into a Juggernaut. For the timing you want to get it, sometimes you just need to rush up a little bit faster, and the Hand of Mice helps with that. Hand of Mice also helps him getting up to the level 16. Like the first jumps, even before, like I was saying, please YaphetS, just jump in there, because I was like, don't let the Weaver die without at least performing some level of distraction. But the Omni Slash still only has 3 jumps at level 1, which is quite pissball. But you get 9 at the 3rd level, and then you get 12 with the Aghanim Scepter. So, yeah. Pretty obvious the reasons why you want to find your levels and find it a lot faster. And now, Sentry Ward, they saw the Bounty Hunter. Pick him up, throw him down. Fissure, Cogs, Rocket, Battery Assault. And that Bounty Hunter just gets destroyed. DK came down to this bottom lane as well, so StarTale, they brought everybody down here, but it was already too late. The rest of TongFu aren't down here, and maybe they start TPing in their support. There's a lot of burst damage coming the way of the Earthshaker, and now Visage sold some damage. There's your track gold, and Clockwork in the meantime. Initiating in on the Crystal Maiden, in comes the Weaver. YaphetS has arrived as well. Ulti is available for him. Moving down, and DK, he's too far away from the creep wave. It's going to be a full ulti into the spin. Now you see the minimal damage done to the DK, but he is walking around with an Ogre Club now, as well as having his Strength Treads. And now switching his treads up, he's still going to get brought down. TP's coming in from Bounty Hunter. This is going to be the worst way to TP in, though. You're coming in one up the other. Soul Assumption damage. Garni, he couldn't get it off. He just couldn't get it off. He tried the Grave Chill when he first came in. The TongFu just took him one by one. Arrow flies in. The creep wave will tank it up. And the bottom tier 1 town will go. That's one of those times when you just say, guys, let the tower go. It's just not worth it. They couldn't get themselves all there in time. And going in one after the other, having a Visage come in first, the man who has no stun. And needs time before the Soul Assumption becomes really effective. Just got nailed by TongFu. And they'll use the healing ward with the catapult to just keep pushing out. Was that a Lincoln's? Ah! I am swayed, Mikasa. I am swayed. But it is going to be a Lincoln Sphere for him. So very, very powerful item no matter how you look at it, especially when you're going up against a lineup with minimal stuns. And there's a lot of tankability. Yep, track's already triggered as well. Very, very difficult to control up this Weaver. I kind of feel like this Weaver's still playing bait. It really does feel like bait games. But it shouldn't be bait for much longer. It's only going to be a matter of time before they try and go in for Roshan. YaphetS is only 1,000 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter. Kabu and long TT. Crouching Tiger. Hidden tree line. Looking for some kind of murder for just one little guy is going to go doop 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 and then bomb dead. That's the plan right there. X marks a spot for death. Back into middle lane. Whoop, hello Sentry Ward. So that's going to reveal off the fact of they actually did something to him during the middle of that Sentry Ward. Reveals off the fact there is a Sentry there. It's not really going to matter that much to TongFu. They're going to haste-runed up Weaver. He's going to run around, do a crap ton of DPS. YaphetS says he's level 2 ulti off cooldown now. So he's going to have himself those 6 jumps. And in they come. I need vision. Sentry Ward on the side. Bounty Hunter this time doesn't check, but the dust reveals him. And the Clockwork hooks in. BKB is already up for Clockwork too. Fissure will go through. Helps the one get the kill over on the Earthshaker. But two, it also helped to stun up the Mirana, forcing her to leap away, so her escape mechanism is gone. And poor TongFu3, the Crystal Maiden, tried to hide in the tree line, but could not hide forever long. DD, one charges! He keeps it alive, and YaphetS jumps through with the ulti. Double kill for him. And GG, well played for game number 1. That's going to be all she wrote, peoples, for game number 1. We'll get to come back here in a couple of moments' time. But that was a quick, and I'm not going to say flawless victory. TongFu did overcommit themselves a couple of times. Earthshaker diving back past the tier 2 tower and so on and so forth. But that is going to wrap up game number 1 here of StarTale going up against TongFu. We look forward to seeing what's going to happen with our next game. It is, of course, a best of 3, so StarTale to prepare themselves. Game number 2 coming up in just a couple of moments' time.